नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद फ़ऊज़ बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. We welcome you to this English video transmission. Today, we intend to answer some of the false allegations leveled against Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib in particular and Ahmadis in general. And to enlighten us in this regard, we have with us Mr. Shahid Aziz, MSc Mathematics, graduate of Institute of Legal Executives, President of the MD Anjuman Nishad Islam Lahore, UK. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And we also have with us Imam Amir Aziz, Imam of the oldest mosque of Germany, Masters of Arts in English, certified in Arabic language and Islamic Sharia, Al Azhar University, Egypt, certified in Professional Studies, United Kingdom. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
My first question is to you, Mr. Shahid Aziz. In spite of doing yeoman service to the cause of Islam, admitted by all the friends and foes of the time, why do we see a strong hatred for Ahmadis amongst the Muslim fraternity?
Well, as you have said, that the service to Islam is recognized by everyone. If we look at the obituaries of Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad that were published on his death, we see people like Maulana Azad and others writing great words about him and praising his stand against the Christian missionaries and Arya Samaj. Similarly, when Maulana Muhammad Ali Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi passed away, Dawn published an obituary of Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ali. His death was announced on Radio Pakistan, it was announced on Voice of America, it was announced on All India Radio. And in that announcement, if you think about that time, his body was taken from Karachi to Lahore. And at every station where the train stopped, there was a huge crowd of people, of thousands, that went to pay him respect. They weren't all Ahmadis. An Ahmadi actually boarded the train, and there were tens of thousands at Lahore railway station. And because there was a gap of 24 hours between Hazrat Maulana passing away and his funeral, you cannot imagine the crowd that gathered at Ahmadiyya buildings in Lahore to pay respects to him. Firoz Khan, who later became the Prime Minister of Pakistan, praised his services, as did many others. Now the question is, why this hatred now? Goebbels was Hitler's propaganda minister, and he had a very simple instruction to people, which was keep lying. Because if you lie enough times, eventually people will think that you're telling the truth. And this is what is happening with us and Hazrat Masih Maud. When Pakistan came into being, this was through the efforts of Shias and Lahorians and some other people as well. The traditional Maulanas actually opposed the creation of Pakistan. That included Maududi and others and so on. So when after creation of Pakistan, these people actually came over, the question was, you oppose the creation of this state, so why are you here? And so they needed an issue on which to whip up support. And then there were some political differences between the central government and the Punjab government and so on. And so this excuse was given to them that MDs are kafirs and they can't hold the government posts and they can't do this and they can't do that. And the people started writing and killing and burning stuff and so on. Our house, I'm referring to my grandfather, Dr. Alabak, was surrounded by a mob and they threatened to burn it down and all that kind of thing. So this is nothing but a political stunt, let us say. If you listen to Dr. Israr Ahmed, he talks about Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib doing great service, and his words are, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad had debates with Arya Samaj and he had debates with Christians, and he defeated them, and he became a star. और लोगों की आंख का तारा बन गए, and he became a star in the eyes of the people. So, this is just like by ordinary religious leaders, they treat the whole thing as politics. What stand should I take to get me the most benefit? What should I say to get more followers than anyone else? And that is all it is. Now, we are not allowed to answer. And that is the problem. Why are we not allowed to answer? If Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, what he said was so stupid, if our beliefs are so wrong, let the people judge. Why don't you let the people judge? We know why. Because in South Africa, in the first case, the learned Maulanas who went, they actually withdrew. They did not dare appear. A dozen of them went, but they did not dare appear against one single MD, Maulana Sheikh Muhammad Sahib. And they produced these fatwas saying that a secular government cannot decide on religious issues and so on. And the judge who was presiding made a very interesting comment. He said, if truth and justice could be expected from these learned gentlemen, there would be no need for a secular court to hear these things. The secular court is the most appropriate forum, which doesn't have an axe to grind against Ahmadis or for Ahmadis or against Sunnis or for Sunnis. And then in the second case, which was actually between two imams, these gentlemen appeared and they were thoroughly trounced. Their own witness said in court, Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ali's English translation of the Holy Quran is the best. It's the closest to the Arabic. He admitted in court that from the Holy Quran, you cannot prove that Jesus went up to heavens, and so on and so forth. So, on religious grounds, on grounds of scholarship and so on, we have defeated these gentlemen. But in Pakistan, what have they done? They have put a seal on our mouths. You can't open your mouth. If someone is saying something stupid and he is your opponent, what will you do? You will encourage him to say that. You won't discourage him. You won't stop him. And this is the sad thing. But outside, only yesterday, a Russian gentleman who's a non-Muslim has indicated that he's studying Islam and he wants to embrace Islam. But he has also said that only that interpretation that is put forward by the Lahore Ahmadi Jamaat. He has already started translating literature into Russian and set up a Facebook page and etc., etc. Um, and this is why they have to tie our hands, close our mouths, and silence our tongues so that they can whip up people's hatred against us and say, look, we are making all these objections, and these people have no reply. And of course, some people, the books they've written about Hazrat Sahib, although claiming to be his followers and so on, all the objections are taken from books like Sivatul Mahdi and so on and so forth, etc. And it's their inability to simply confront us and answer our questions. And the only way they can stop us is to whip up public hatred by making false claims. Uh, Read the book Ahmadiyya Case. Every single objection is refuted in there. Ahmadi Sahib has done that many times on television, etc., etc. So this is just a political stunt. The easiest thing in Pakistan is you want to do someone down, oh, he's a Mirza, he's an MD. That is the easiest thing. You want to stop someone's promotion. You don't want someone to get a job. You want to damage someone's prospects in the election. Whatever it is, just say he's an MD. Sidetrack him. He'll be swearing on the Holy Quran and so on. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But once this stigma is attached to someone, who will believe him, or how many will believe him, etc. So this is a mere political stunt. It has nothing to do with Islam. It has nothing to do with religion at all.
Thank you.
Otherwise, why would people on Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's death, Salam's death, on Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ali Rahmatullah Alayhi's death, prominent people, why would they pay glowing tributes? Why would they, people like Azad, would travel all the way from New Delhi to say Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's funeral prayers, and
Yeah.
so on. So, well, I was going to say something about what politicians do, but perhaps it's not appropriate for a public broadcast. So I'll censor myself and just end by saying that this is nothing but a political stunt,
Yeah.
and an easy ploy to get votes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Imam Amir Aziz, in spite of the fact that Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib has never claimed to be a prophet in his books, yet, why is he charged with the claim of prophethood?
Actually, when Assalamu alaikum, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ahmadu wa nasalli ala Rasul al-Kareem, amma ba'du fa'udhu billahi min shaitan ar-Rajim, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Your question, it is actually a very important question that why most of the people in the world, uh, uh, I would not say in the world, but especially in Pakistan subcontinent, in India, people they blame Mirza Ghulam Ahmad as that he claimed to be a prophet. So first of all, I would like to clarify that according to Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's own point of view and according to the Lahore Ahmadiyya movement, uh, it is absolutely there's an allegation against the founder of the movement and allegation against the Lahore Ahmadiyya movement that we don't believe in the finality of the prophethood. We believe, and what this is what actually Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib we believe is that prophethood has come to an end, and we believe in the verse which is in the Holy Quran, which specifically mention that Ma kana Muhammadan aba hadim min rijalikum walakin Rasulullah wa khataman nabiyyin. We believe that according to this verse of the Holy Quran, he is the final and the last prophet. No prophet will come after Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And anybody who claims to be a prophet after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a prophet, he is a liar, and he is out of pale of Islam. These are the words which Mirza Ghulam Ahmad in his own book he writes that in Urdu he says so that people can understand. मैं मुद्दई नबूवत को काफिर काज़िब और दायरा इस्लाम से खारिज समझता हूँ. That I believe anybody who claims to be a prophet after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I believe him a liar and out of pale of Islam. So this is what our point of view is. So anybody who actually blames us that we don't believe in the finality of the Holy Prophet is absolutely he's lying and is hiding the facts. And not only the only group which I can say, not the group, rather I would say the only movement, only bunch of people who believe in the finality of Prophet of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Lahore Ahmadiyya movement, because we believe that there will be no prophet after Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whether it is old or new one. So we are the only people, and it was this all ideology came from Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib. Now, the question is that why people still think, because people, those who are not aware of the Sufi school of thought, or those who are not aware of the terminologies used by many scholars in Islam before Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib. Not only just these are the words which he used in his books, they have been used by almost all big scholars of Islam, right from Ibn Arabi, then you come on, and Mujaddid al-Fisani, they have been using these words, and they are actually, these are terminologies used by Sufiya or the Sufis. And therefore, what Mirza Ghulam Ahmad claimed, he said that he is not at all a prophet, because prophethood had come to an end with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What he claimed to be only a mujaddid or muhaddis of 14th century. A muhaddis and mujaddid is actually a concept which people have to understand. What is that concept of muhaddis, so that people can have a better idea? I just give you here are some hadiths where people can understand. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لقد كان فيما قبلكم من الأمم محدثون فإن يكون في أمتي أحد فإنه عمر. That Prophet ﷺ narrated that in the previous before him, all those nations who passed before him, there used to be people who were called muhaddis. And if there is somebody from my ummah at that time when Prophet ﷺ was explaining, is Hadrat Umar. Then not only this one, but there's another hadith where it said, Kala Kala Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is again narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu. لقد كان في من كان قبلكم من بني إسرائيل رجال يكلمون من غير أن يكونوا أنبياء فإن يكن من أمتي منهم أحد فعمر. That Hadrat Abu Huraira says that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that amongst Bani Israel, that is Israelites, there were people whom used God to talk. They were not prophets, but they were called, therefore they were muhaddis. And if there is somebody in my ummah, then he is Umar. So these things we have to first of all understand the word muhaddis, and that is what actually the claim of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is, that he was a muhaddis. What in these two hadiths it is mentioned that Hadrat Abu Huraira Razillah Ta'ala, he narrated these two hadiths where Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that there were people before him in different, like in Bani Israel, where God used to talk to him. And when people, they were not prophets, but they were called muhaddis. So if there is somebody in my ummah, Hazrat Umar, so it means that Mirza Sahib said that I am also muhaddis of this ummah. And God used to talk to the people before Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and they were not prophets. So is the case that I am muhaddis. This is what the people, they have misconstrued, or people have taken it absolutely wrong, and they said that he is claiming a prophethood. So much so that when the people had that much objection against him, then he gave his final verdict. That is very important. He says that I have clarified many times that I'm not a prophet, and I'm not a claimant of prophethood. Then he said that if people they can't understand this terminology of muhaddas, they are unable to understand what I'm talking about, then strike off this word nabi from my book. Wherever it is written, you strike it off. That it is no more there, because you people are unable to understand the word muhaddas, and therefore you cannot understand that terminology. Therefore, now this word is no more in my books. So therefore, we can very clearly claim that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was the only person amongst all the Sufis school of thought, which they have already been using these terminologies. He was the only person who said that if people are unable to understand, then you just strike off this name from my book, and it is no more there. So, and even you will find nowadays on social media, you can find all this discussion that people have even asked their own followers to recite their own kalma. And you can see that all, and there are renowned people. They are not just that people are not known. They're all renowned people. I don't want to repeat them. You can just see on the social media people. So but it was only Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib who was so careful about this thing, that he said that if people are unable to understand the concept of this Sufism, or they're unable to understand the concept of muhaddas, then you do not use the word prophethood. This is one point. So as far as the Lahore Ahmadiyya is concerned, we believe Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the last prophet, and there will be no prophet after him. And if somebody claims to be a prophet, he is a liar. First. Second, now you said that why people still blame Mirza Sahib, as it is also unfortunate. Very unfortunate thing is that it is because of the Qadiani school of thought, or the Qadiani group of Ahmadiyya, who has actually misinterpreted, and he had spread this misunderstanding. If you see that all the discussion going on in the media, like especially on social media, or even in the mainstream media in Pakistan, they're all everybody is pointing out the books which are not books of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. They are pointing out all the books which were written by Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud, who was not a Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. So people have no clarity about it. There should be very much clarity that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, he died in 1908, and therefore after that Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud, who claimed to be the caliph, or who claimed to be the head of the Ahmadiyya community of Qadian Ahmadiyya community, or which is known as in different names from in different countries. So they said that he actually claimed to be a prophet, and therefore it is because of their misinterpretation and their misunderstanding which has today brought this day that people have this misunderstanding. Not Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, but it was the books. And you will see they are giving the books of Hakikat Nabuwat. This is not book of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. People are pointing out the book Anwar Khilafat. It is not a book of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. People are pointing out the Kalmat al Fasl. It is not book of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. These are all books written later on, much later on after his death, and not by him, but his we can say from among his own generation, or from his own son and all his grandson. But this was their misunderstanding. And one should also be very clear, because many people then say if his son he was claiming, so his son has no authority at all, because in case of religion, no son has any authority. Even the prophet's sons had no authority. We know in the Quran that Hadrat Nuh alayhi salam, the prophet Noah, when he was asked, and his son only refused. His son said that I don't believe in you. So God said, he is not your son. And at the same time, there are a lot of other prophets, even the wives of prophets, like we know in the Holy Quran that wives, they were against their own husband. So God said they're not part of your faith. So therefore, and the most important one, what happened with Jesus? Jesus never claimed that he is son of God. But today, most of the in their Christian we see the Christian belief, they all believe that Jesus was son of God. So why they believe? Because it was not because Jesus said that he is, but because of the misunderstanding created by his own followers later on. So this misunderstanding, if there is from the part of Ahmadis, then it is part of the Qadianis, not from Lahore Ahmadis. Lahore Ahmadiyya from very beginning, in from 1900. until from the death of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and in 1914, very specifically, clearly mentioned that we do not believe him as a prophet. We considered him only a mujaddid, or we considered him a reformer, we considered him a muhaddis, and nothing more than that. That is what was the claim of Lahore Anbiya, and that is actually the what is the true concept of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's own teaching. So those who believe in him as a prophet, and another very important point is, it is very interesting point is that if we say that Mirza Ghulam never claimed to be a prophet, people, especially his opponents, they say no, he claimed to be a prophet. Why don't you believe this thing, that why you want to make him a prophet while he said I'm not a prophet, and you are forcefully making him a prophet? So people are not happy that if somebody should not claim to be not a prophet, but rather they are happy because they want that he should be a claimant of prophethood. Why do people? We should understand that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad never claimed to be a prophet. And in this case, I would like to say that Javed Ahmad Ghamdi Sahib, which he has his own lectures, he has very specifically mentioned all these things, that this is what the terminology of Sufis which have been used by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and therefore that is what the real stance of the Ahmadiyya movement was. It is very unfortunate those who say that we don't believe in the finality of prophethood. It is absolute blame to us, and therefore we categorically reject this claim. We believe in
Thank you.
the finality of prophethood of
Yeah,
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
thank you. Mr. Shahid Aziz, does the Holy Quran and the Sunnah empower anybody to declare someone as a Muslim or a non Muslim?
Before going on to that, can I add a couple of things to what Ahmed
Yeah,
Bhai
very,
was saying?
very, very quickly, if you could, because we are
Very quickly,
interrupting.
very quickly, very quickly. First of all, the main thing is, what did the community believe Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad to be when Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad died? Maulana Nuruddin wrote an inscription with his, it was actually presented to him by Mir Nasir Nawab, Mia Bashiruddin Mahmud Ahmad's father-in-law. It said, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, Rais-e Qadian, Mujaddad Sad Chardah. He didn't mention prophethood, Masih Maud Mahdi, etc. So the whole community believed Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad to be a Mujaddid when he passed away. So that was the accepted claim by everyone. So it's the Qadianis who diverted from that original claim. The other thing is about use of words. And I just want to quickly point out one verse of the Holy Quran, Surah Yusuf, verse 50, which says, this is about Hazrat Yusuf, and the king sends someone to fetch him from the prison. And the king said, bring him to me. So when the Rasul came, then Yusuf said, go back to your Rabb and ask him what's the matter of the women who cut their fingers. My Rabb knows I'm innocent. Now, if a Christian says, according to the Holy Quran, there are two Rabbs, will you accept that? No, you wouldn't. But he'll say the Holy Quran is saying, your Rabb and my Rabb. So you have to use your common sense, as Amar Bhai has explained, and see the use of any word in the context in which it's used. In Arab world, I mean, Amar Bhai knows this better than me. In many countries in the Arab world, husband is called Rabbul Bat. Rabbul Bat. So the word Rab is used for the husband. But does that mean he's God of the house? But in Urdu, we'll say Ghar ka Malik. And so on. So now to turning to your question, we have to look at the Holy Quran and see what the condition it gives for someone to become a believer. Okay? This is Al-Ma'idah. I will quote Al-Ma'idah. I think it's verse 111. I don't know why they print the numbers of verses so small. And its English translation is, and when Allah revealed to the disciples of Jesus, Wahi, wahi ki. And when Allah sent revelation to disciples of Jesus that they should believe in me, that is Allah, and my messenger, and then they responded by saying, yes, we believe, and we hold you as witness. So to become a believer, this is the condition given by the Holy Quran in a revelation to disciples of Jesus, that is enough to become a believer. No other condition is needed, because here Holy Quran is saying revelation. I revealed to Jesus' disciples, say we believe in Allah and His Messenger. So that should be enough to make people a believer. But if we go to other places, for example, an explanation, and I'll quote from Mufradat Raghib, and Raghib says, according to Sharia, there are two grades, okay, of a person's commitment to Islam. One extent of professing Islam is below the level of faith, and that is confession with the tongue and reciting the kalim. So Imam Raghib, who wrote this dictionary explaining the words of the Holy Quran, he says that the lower level of being a Muslim is that you just recite the kalim. This assures protection of life. In this case, the question of the correctness of belief does not arise. It doesn't matter what else nonsense you believe or not believe. It's not Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Hazrat Museeb out saying that. This is not Mawlana. This is Imam Raghib, whose dictionary is accepted by everyone as an authority. The question of the correctness of the belief does not arise. The Quranic verse pointing to this grade of Islam is, the desert Arabs say, we have faith. Tell them you do not have faith. You should just say, we are Muslims. So the Quran is actually itself giving us two grades. One is you're just a Muslim. For all legal purposes, practical purposes, you are a Muslim. And then Imam Raghib goes on to say, the other grade of Islam is that which is above the level of faith. And that is that besides professing the kalima with the tongue, there should be faith in the heart, and the person should show fidelity in practice and submit to decrees of God. This grade of Islam is referred to in the following mention of Abraham. When his Lord said to him, submit, he said, I submit to the Lord of the worlds. And it is referred to in the following, surely the religion with God is Islam. This is Mufradat. So Raghib himself, the Quran has done it and said there are two grades. If you just recite the kalima, you're a Muslim, no one can say you're not a Muslim. And then Imam Raghib, in his dictionary of the Quran, stresses this. But the other interesting thing is that Imam Shafi refers to this, that someone complained to Hazrat Umar about a person and said, this person only claims to be a Muslim outwardly. He is not a real Muslim. He is not a Muslim in his heart. He just says with his tongue he is a Muslim. And he's done that because he wants to take part in the benefits of becoming a Muslim. Like in those days, there were battles and war booty would come, Male Ganimat would come, and it would be distributed and so on. That's the only reason. Now listen, Hazrat Umar called this man, okay? Umar asked him, this is Imam Shafi quoting Hazrat Umar Raziyallahu Ta'ala. Umar asked him, is it not true that you're only outwardly a Muslim and not really a Muslim? Okay? And your only reason is to gain Islamic benefits. The man responded to Umar, he said, does Islam deprive those people of their rights who follow Islam only in the outward sense? सिर्फ ज़बानी इकरार करते, and does it leave no way for them? Umar said Islam has left a way for them, and then said nothing further. He didn't have him arrested for being a hypocrite. He didn't have take any action against them. And so Hazrat Umar Radhiyallahu Ta'ala himself in this incident shows it is enough to say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah for the state to regard you as a Muslim. Because Hazrat Umar was the head of state, and he took no action against this man. So this is Imam Shafi arguing from this incident, not me. But you see, what happened was that Muslim rulers used to want to attack each other's countries. You know, there was a famine in one country, one Muslim ruler's area, and there was plenty of food next door. He wanted an excuse to attack it. So he would consult his Maulanas and say, look, Muslims are not supposed to fight each other, so what should I do? And Maulana said, it's easy. Give us 100,000 pounds and we'll find a reason. And what was the reason? He's a kafir. He doesn't raise his finger when he's saying his prayers, or his mustache is too long, or his trousers are too long, or whatever. That means he's not a Muslim. Right, great, let's attack him. Let's grab his land, let's grab his food, and so on. This is where it started. There is no support for this in the Quran. As I just recited to you, the revelation of Allah to disciples of Jesus. Just say, we believe in Allah and the Messenger. And what Mufradat said, and what Imam Shafi said, and how Hazrat Umar Razilullah Ta'ala behaved. So where these people get this authority from, I don't know. I hope that was sufficient.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Imam Amir Aziz, can you shed some light on the titles Mujaddid, Masih Maud, and Mahdi Maud in the light of the Holy Quran and the Sunnah?
Yeah. Thank you very much once again. I would like just to supplement what Brother Shahid Aziz he pointed out about this, and there is one very specific hadith of the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Even before Hazrat Umar Farooq Radhiyallahu Ta'ala anhu, the Holy Prophet himself approved this thing, that in one of the war, Hazrat Usama, who was sent by the Holy Prophet himself, and one of the person while fighting, he recited La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. It is very famous hadith, and one Sahabi he killed him, the other did not. And when this was reported to the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he was very angry to the Sahabi who killed him, and then he gave a very golden words, that is, Hal shakakta kalbahu, have you torn his heart to see whether he has recited this from the heart or not? So therefore, how can we judge that somebody, if he's saying, I believe in La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, he is not a Muslim? People should be very much considerate about it. They should think about it, and they should know that these are the words of the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And therefore, if they are calling somebody non-Muslim, it is a great sin to call somebody a non-Muslim when he recites Kalma La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Yes, if you have difference of opinion, we can talk about it, but we cannot call him non-Muslim.
Yeah.
Now, as far as you came to the point of view of concept of Mujaddid and Masih Maud and Mahdi Maud, let us be very clear about it, because most of the time there is no mention of Mujaddid or Masih Maud or Mahdi in Quran. This should be very clear. So people have most of the time have misunderstanding. There is no direct mention of any of this kind of thing. Mujaddad word, it occurs in hadith. There is one very famous hadith of the Prophet ﷺ in which he said, "Inna Allah yabasu li hazil ummati ala ras kulli mi'atin sanatin man yujaddidu laha dinaha." That Prophet ﷺ said that God would always raise a person amongst the ummah of the Prophet ﷺ who would reform the religion, which mean not only reform, mean that he would actually bring people to the real teachings of Islam. He will give real teachings of Islam. That is the concept of a mujaddid. So those people who did this service to the religion of Islam, they were regarded as mujaddid. And recently, we have seen on the social media there were a lot of controversy going on that the first person who considered to be mujaddid in Islamic history was Hadrat Umar bin Abdul Aziz, who whose grave they say that they have dishonored his grave or whatever. Anyhow, that is a political stunt, but he is regarded as the first mujaddid because he reformed a lot. Until that time, there were a lot of problems going on in Islamic State, so he is regarded as the first mujaddid. So in this, then is there are a lot of people, not only just one, two, three, not only maybe that there are only 14 people, their names are given. So people ask that then why, if there are only 14, why not? Why there are more if they have to come on the century? Because we should also be very clear about this concept. The prophets, the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the only prophet who has been sent for the whole humanity, where he has been regarded, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. O Prophet, we sent you as a mercy for the whole humanity. No other prophet was sent for the whole humanity. They were all sent in different areas, and at the same time, there were a lot of prophets who were working at the same time. Even Moses and his brother Aaron, they were Hazrat Harun alayhi salam, they were working at the same time. So this should be clear that when the Prophet ﷺ said, so maybe there are many thousands of people they have worked as a mujaddid. There are many people, not only just one. If you go to different countries, they will have a different list because these people they did great service to Islam. So therefore, this is the concept of mujaddid in Islam. And Mirza Sahib, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib said, I am also among those. I am also the reformer. I came to show the true light and true teachings of Islam to the people. So he showed it. That is another topic. What he did that we can discuss some other day. So this is the concept of mujaddid. Now let's come to the terminology of Masih Maud and Mahdi Maud. This should also be very clear that there is no direct mention of the word Masih Maud or Mahdi in Quran. There is no such mention. Only there are few verses of the Holy Quran. Indirectly, we can say that where people can have interpretation, and that is why this concept will always be a controversial topic amongst the Muslim because there is no direct mention. The things which are clear in the Holy Quran, they are clear, but it is not clarity. Then people will have different interpretation. Not people should dispute or not should fight, but rather we should discuss this in a very human way and a very logical way. So let us see what are those verses of the Quran which actually mention indirectly of coming of some person. So, for example, here is one of the verse of the Holy Quran which it says that وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِم مِّنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصَّالِحِينَ وَحَسُنَ أُولَٰئِكَ رَفِيقًا. That is the verse in a that uh, uh, this is chapter 4 verse 69 of the Holy Quran. It says, and whoever obeys Allah and the messenger, they are with those upon whom Allah has bestowed favors from among the prophets, and the truthful and the faithful and the righteous, and a goodly company they are. So this is what the first point, that in this verse we find that God says those who truly believe the Holy Prophet ﷺ and obeys Allah's commandment, they are amongst those. They are not going to be prophets. This should be very much clear that they will be amongst the prophets, about the faithful, about shuhada, about salihin, that they'll be righteous people. So this shows that there are certain people, not everybody will achieve that level. So therefore, there are people who will achieve this. Although everybody should try to achieve this at this level, but there will be some people who would achieve this level, and they will be amongst those. So this is one verse, and then there is another verse of the Holy Quran which actually also mentions the this concept, and that concept is in chapter 24, verse 56 of the Holy Quran. وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنكُمْ وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ لَيَسْتَخْلِفَنَّهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ كَمَا اسْتَخْلَفَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ وَلَيُمَكِّنَنَّ لَهُمْ دِينَهُمُ الَّذِي ارْتَضَىٰ لَهُمْ وَلَيُبَدِّلَنَّهُم مِّن بَعْدِ خَوْفِهِمْ أَمْنًا يَعْبُدُونَنِي لَا يُشْرِكُونَ بِي شَيْئًا وَمَنْ كَفَرَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. So these are this verse of the Holy Quran also mentions that God will actually give higher status. So here is again, that's the word is it is the word لَيَسْتَخْلِفَنَّهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. God will make them the caliphs, or God will make them give them that status where they will purify the hearts of people, and they would take people back to the teachings of the Holy Quran. They will be the one who will and what will be their function. This should be, because here people say it is about the khilafat, it is about worldly khilafat. No, God says, what the Quran says, so that min badum yabudunani, that they will worship God. La yushrikuna bi shay'in, they will not ascribe anyone with God. And that will wala yumakkinannahum lahum wala yumakkinanna lahum dinahum alladhi irtada, and God will strengthen religion of Islam with these people. So this is actually a spiritual person, a spiritual personality who will come, and he will, that spiritual personality will give the religion a strength, and therefore people will only worship to God. So this is what. And then we also find one other verse of the Holy Quran, which is actually indirect, which again I say it is indirect. That verse is chapter 62 of verse 3. وَآخَرِينَ مِنْهُمْ لَمَّا يَلْحَقُوا بِهِمْ وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. That says that and others from among them who have not yet joined them, and he is the mighty and the wise. So in this verse of the Holy Quran is that Prophet ﷺ is pointing out some people who would come later on. They are not as his time. That وَآخَرِينَ مِنْهُمْ لَمَّا يَلْحَقُوا بِهِمْ, that those people who have not yet joined you, but they will be like you, like they will not be like have the same level, but they will do the same work which you are doing. What was the work of the Sahaba of the Holy Prophet ﷺ? To preach Islam, to teach Islam to the people, and to, first of all, they themselves should practice Islam and then take this teaching of Islam to the other. So this shows that there will be some people, there will be some party, there will be some organization in the modern world. We can say there will be some organization who will do the work of the teaching of Islam, and will take the teaching of Islam to the world. This is what is concept. Now, this concept of promised Messiah, let's say Masih Maud, this is again a very this needs a lot of clarification for the people. First of all, that according to the Ahmadiyya point of view, or according to Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib, Jesus has died. And therefore, because many people, they say that he claims to be Jesus himself, that he is not at all. He is not. He said that he died. How he can claim that he is a Jesus? First of all, now according to the Holy Quran, as the many scholars, they believe now that Jesus has died, and therefore there is no mention of his second coming in the Holy Quran. First, second, there is no mention of his being lifted to the heaven alive. Now, what in some of the hadiths we find the mention, we find where it is coming of promised Messiah, or coming of Jesus. Again, the words are also written there, Ibn Maryam. So I have, like, there are a lot of hadiths where it is mentioned that Jesus will come, Ibn Maryam will come. For example, I just quickly just mention one hadith. It says, "An Abi Hurairah qala qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, kayfa antum iza nadala ibn Maryama fikum wa imamukum minkum." And it says, Abu Huraira said that Rasul narrated that the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, "What will be your situation when the son of Mary, he will come amongst you, and he will be imam from amongst you. وَهُوَ إِمَامُ وَإِمَامُكُم مِّنكُم. He will be the imam amongst you. So this is one of the hadith. And then we also find in some of the hadiths about the concept that a person Mahdi will come. So there are two simultaneous concepts in the Islamic point of view. One is the coming after Jesus. Second is coming after Mahdi. Many people will believe that Mahdi will come, and they call it the word in Arabic. They say Mahdi al Muntazar, which means now we should also be very much clear that what the concept of Mahdi al Muntazar and the concept of this Jesus coming, second coming of Jesus or Masih Maud, according to the common Muslim belief is that Jesus will come from the heaven in Syria somewhere, and then Mahdi, and they both will go to the whole world, and then they'll ask everybody to accept Islam, and somebody say no, then they will kill them on, and there will be only one religion left in the world. This is what is the main concept. Now, how it is very much controversial. First of all, I said in the Quran it is that Jesus died. So how can in this here it is this mention of the of Jesus is. Second is that Mahdi concept of Mahdi is again a very controversial concept in Islam. For example, according to Sunni school of thought, Mahdi will appear in Khana Kaaba. He will come from in the Khana Kaaba. His father name will be Muhammad, and all these hadiths are there. So they say he will come, and then he will announce that he's a Mahdi in Kaaba. And this had happened in the past, in the history. People know it. What happened with that man when he claimed the same person, he was killed, and all this. So people know it now. First, according to Shia school of thought, they don't believe in this Mahdi. They say no. Their belief, they see that their Imam, who is now known as Imam Ghaib, that they say that he is the Mahdi and he will come. So he is right now hiding somewhere, and he will come when it is the time will his time will come. So he will appear. So this concept of Mahdi is absolutely a controversial concept. You cannot come to any conclusion if you see all the hadiths, because in one of hadith it is said La Mahdi illa Isa. There is no Mahdi except Isa. So this we have to concept we have to understand. That is why believing in Masih Maud or believing in Mahdi is not so important. It is not at all a matter of faith of kufr and Islam. That is why the Prophet said, what Prophet ﷺ said that man lam la yarif al imama faqad mata mitat al jahiliya. The one who does not believe in the or does not help out the imam of the time, he died the died of the death of a jahiliyat, the of ignorant, because then he is actually deprived of many good work which he is doing. Now, this concept of let's come to Masimo. Many people, like Ramdi Sahib, even in current scholar, many scholars of Al Azhar, those who believe that Jesus has died and that is absolutely the right concept, they were a bit confused what to do with it hadith. Then they said these hadiths are actually they are redundant and they came later on, so these should not be believed. This is what they believe. They say that because according to the Quran Jesus died, therefore they believe that these hadiths are absolutely has no authority. But if someone believes, let him believe, no problem. Second, then, according to the other school of thought, that is the common Muslim school of thought, they say no, Jesus will come and he will not be a prophet, then he will become Ummati of this, and then Mahdi will come. But again, their concept of Mahdi clashes here of the concept of Shia Mahdi and the coming of the Sunni Mahdi. They have two different ideas and two different concept of that. They are here it claims. So all the hadiths if you see about Mahdi and about it says that he will rule the whole world and then that it will bring peace to the world. These are all their hadiths. But how will it be possible when first of all the Muslims are not going to be united on this concept, because Sunni concept is different, Shia concept of Mahdi is different. No one will believe to that. Therefore Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib was the only person who gave a very logical reason to this, and he said that these ahadiths should not be taken in their real meaning. They are actually allegorical, they have allegorical meaning. So that he said Jesus, he has died. This is what is written in the Quran, as many scholars they believe in it, and therefore these ahadiths where it is mention of a Messiah Maud is coming of a Messiah, that means a person amongst this ummah will come who will be preaching the religion of Islam and who will have the quality of Jesus, qualities of Jesus. What there is a very famous hadith, and mostly most of the ulama they use it, that Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "Ulama ummati ka anbiya bani Israel." Although it is not mentioned, but they say that the ulama of my ummah, they will be like prophets of Bani Israel, which means that this concept of promised Messiah, that he will have the qualities of Jesus. Like, what is qualities of Jesus? That he gave the peaceful teachings of the Christianity. That if somebody slaps you on the right, then turn your left cheek to him. So his teaching will be the teachings of peace, the teaching of love, and this is what Mirza Ulama said. That he clarified all concept of this terrorism and fundamentalist school of thought. First, second, he said that it is the Mahdi is again the person. It should be clarified. It can be solved in this way. Mahdi is the person who himself is a guided person and guides other. So in his book, he says not only one Mahdi will come, but maybe there are many Mahdis they come. Not only just he himself that he says I am the Mahdi. He says Fil Mahdiyun. He wrote his book Arabic word Sir al Khalafa, where he says not only just one Mahdi. He said that it is about Mahdis. There will be a lot of people who will come because God will guide people, and they will be guided and they will guide others. So therefore, he said, and even he said that maybe there are many other Messiah will come, because it is not only just that it was at this time when he was claiming, he said, I have been given this title, but this is not at all actually the any darja, which is only a title for his work. He said that I worked against Christianity. I clarified Islam to the Christian, and my mission was this, and I guided people toward this. Therefore, I have been given this title, but this title is not only specific to him, but he says there will be many other people who will come, they will guide, and they will be given this title by God. So therefore, this is not actually, it should not be considered something that that if people they don't believe in it, they will be out of pale of Islam, and this is where it is actually misconception came out. We What Mirza Sahib claims is only one, that he is muhaddis, he is mujaddid, which means he is a reformer, and that is why there's one. I'll just finish with this because it took a very long time. One scholarly person asked somebody that what is the difference between the sons of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad and sons of Shah Waliullah. They said that the sons of Shah Waliullah were very wise. They knew it, that the claims of their father is not important, but the work he did was important. But unfortunately, the sons of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad were very dull, and they were unable to understand. They stressed more on his claims and not on his work. So this is what actually we have to think of there, that Mirza Sahib claimed to be a mujaddid and a mother. That is what is important. Other these are only just titles which can be given to other people. They will come in the ummah, and at the same time, lots. I will just finish. We here Lahore Ahmadiyya should not be mixed up with the Qadianis. We are not. We completely denounce their concept of prophethood. We completely denounce their beliefs, because we consider that their belief about Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's claim to be a prophet is absolutely false. It's against the teachings of Islam, against the teachings of Quran, against the teachings of the Holy Prophet. Therefore, they should not be mixed up with the Lahore Ahmadiyya concept. They should not be considered as a true representative of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, because they are representative of their own Jamaat. They have created this mess, and we are not at all part of that. We should be not mixed up with them in any part of the world. We consider ourselves completely aloof from them, and we denounce their beliefs. We absolutely say their belief is based on false arguments, have no arguments. They are even against the teachings of their own founder, whom they refer to be their founder. This is my point of view. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We say walaikum assalam to all our viewers who are saying assalam. We will take up the questions in the next session, as we ran really out of time. So thank you so much to our panelists for this wonderful session. Thank you to all our viewers and listeners for watching this show. I hope that we were able to convey our message to you. And before we leave you, we would request you to look for yourself, research, and then alone come to a conclusion. Thank you so much. Kindly like, share, and subscribe the channel if you feel so. Thank you so much. Wassalam. Allah
Thank you.
Hafiz.
Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.